weirdo. Don't you know what you got in your head, that neural link? You'll never outthink me. Ever.
So why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we.
Imagine the king of hip-hop watching his empire crumble, not in a courtroom, not in a headline, but in the shadows where old enemies are quietly circling. Past incidents are bubbling back to the surface. And now, the same forces that took down Diddy could be setting their sights on Jay-Z next. We've witnessed the downfall of Sean Combs unfold in real time, the prison sentences, the new probes, the damning testimonies portraying him as a predator who hid behind fame and power. But now insiders are whispering that the spotlight is shifting. And this time, it's aimed squarely at Sean Carter. The question isn't just whether Jay-Z has skeletons in his closet. It's whether those skeletons are about to burst out and drag his billion-dollar legacy down with them. And we can't ignore the timing. Just as Diddy's legal nightmare deepens, with the LA County Sheriff's Department launching a fresh investigation into allegations tied to 2020, and his prison release date mysteriously extended, voices like Gene Deal are steering the conversation toward Jay-Z. The narrative is clear: if one mogul's dark past can unravel so spectacularly, why not another? And when we examine the patterns, the accusations of manipulation, whispers of predatory behavior, decades of tightly controlled public image, it becomes harder not to wonder. Is Jay-Z next? The man who built an empire through savvy business moves and untouchable connections may be facing a reckoning that feels inevitable. Because after Diddy's collapse, the rules have changed. The protections that once shielded men like them are fading. And the stories that were once buried are resurfacing with a vengeance.
You understand? I think that they don't want, if they was in any of those freak-off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public to make up their brand.
Let's begin with the contradictions. Jay-Z has spent years crafting an image of a self-made titan, a husband, a father, a cultural architect who rose from the streets to sit in boardrooms. But behind that polished exterior, insiders claim there's another side. A shadow operator who allegedly betrayed allies, avoided conflicts when convenient, and most disturbingly, preyed on vulnerable young women. These aren't random rumors. They're part of a growing chorus, one that has become louder as Diddy's downfall inspires others to speak out. Take the explosive claims from Jaguar Wright, who didn't merely criticize Jay-Z, she publicly labeled him a monster. She even alleged that he has kept Beyonce under control through substances, turning their marriage into what she describes as a business arrangement rather than a partnership.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling.
Then there's the former bodyguard known as Uncle Ron, who went viral earlier this year with allegations that Jay-Z has been supplying Beyonce with substances to maintain dominance over her. The details are staggering: a marriage built on transaction, not affection, a wife who, according to these claims, behaves more like an employee than a partner, and a power dynamic so extreme that even Beyonce's legendary independence may be nothing more than an illusion. Now ask yourself, if even a fraction of these claims holds truth, what else might Jay-Z be hiding? The parallels to Diddy's case are impossible to ignore. Both men rose to power in the same era. Both wielded influence like a weapon. And both have faced decades of whispered allegations. But while Diddy's alleged crimes are now unraveling in courtrooms and police reports, Jay-Z's past has been largely shielded by his reputation, his legal team, and an expertly crafted PR machine. That shield, however, is starting to crack.
Threatening. I mean, let's just be real for a second. There are a lot of lawyers who call this legal extortion, and that this is the way the legal system works, which is you threaten somebody with reputational harm. And in this case, it's interesting that Jay-Z, who's very wealthy, said it would be financial ruin.
The same legal strategies that once kept scandals hidden, non-disclosure agreements, strategic silence, the looming threat of lawsuits, simply don't work as effectively in 2025. The culture has shifted. Survivors are speaking out, and the public is no longer willing to separate the art from the artist's actions. When Diddy was convicted on federal charges this summer, the message was unmistakable. No amount of fame or fortune can outrun accountability forever. So why would Jay-Z be the exception? Now let's examine the patterns. Diddy's downfall wasn't sudden. It was a slow unraveling: civil lawsuits, criminal investigations, and a growing list of accusers who refused to stay silent. Jay-Z's trajectory mirrors this in unsettling ways. There has long been speculation about his relationships with young women in the industry, allegations that date back to the 90s, when he was reportedly pursuing Aaliyah while she was still a teenager.
And we do have some breaking news that we want to bring to you. It was being reported by TMZ and now Fox News. We are learning that Jay-Z is accused of raping a 13-year-old girl. That is new in the Diddy.
Dame Dash, Jay-Z's former business partner, has openly discussed the bitterness Jay-Z allegedly carried after Aaliyah rejected him, painting a picture of a man driven by control and obsession. Then come the Foxy Brown rumors, revived by Wendy Williams, who casually mentioned on her show that Jay-Z and the young rapper had a romantic involvement long before Beyonce entered the picture. On their own, these could be dismissed as tabloid fodder. But when stacked alongside the allegations from Jaguar Wright, who has spent years sounding alarms about both Diddy and Jay-Z, a darker narrative begins to take shape. Wright didn't merely call Jay-Z a predator. She positioned him as part of a system, a network where powerful men allegedly used influence, money, and silence to control, exploit, and bury the truth. And if the Diddy trial has taught us anything, it's this. Where there is one accuser, there are often many more waiting in the wings. The timing is no coincidence. Diddy's legal collapse has opened the floodgates, and the entertainment industry is bracing itself for the next domino to fall. Just look at the speed with which the LA Sheriff's Department launched new investigations into Combs' allegations that, if proven, could extend his prison sentence by years. Meanwhile, Jay-Z's name is surfacing more and more, not from fringe voices, but from people who have worked closely with him.
Jay-Z got his ass whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. You got his ass. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
Gene Deal, a figure deeply connected to hip-hop's inner circles, has been vocal about Jay-Z's alleged betrayals. He claims Jay-Z spent years playing both sides, staying loyal only to himself. And then there's the matter of R. Kelly. Dame Dash has publicly condemned Jay-Z for collaborating with R. Kelly, not once, but twice, after Kelly's history of abusing young women, including Aaliyah, was already an industry-wide open secret. Dash's anger wasn't just personal. It was a moral indictment. If Jay-Z was willing to overlook R. Kelly's crimes for profit, what else was he willing to tolerate? But the allegations don't end with personal choices. Questions are rising about his business dealings too, about the empire that made him a billionaire. Roc Nation, Tidal, and his massive web of investments have long operated under a veil of secrecy. Whispers of manipulation and backdoor deals have followed him for years, but were dismissed until now.
Yeah.
At this point, nah, I would want, why?
And now, as Diddy's legal team scrambles to appeal his conviction, insiders are asking an uncomfortable question. Who else in their circle is vulnerable? The RICO charges that almost destroyed Diddy hinged on the theory that his businesses were fronts for a criminal network. Could prosecutors apply the same logic to Jay-Z's operations? We already know he has faced multiple lawsuits from investors, artists, and former partners who claim they were manipulated, cut out, or misled. But what if those disputes are only the surface? What if, like Diddy, Jay-Z's success was built on more than just talent and hustle? Let's not ignore the cultural moment we're living in. Public tolerance for powerful men with dark pasts is at an all-time low. The Me Too movement didn't just expose individuals, it dismantled entire systems that once protected them. And while Jay-Z has carefully crafted an image as a family man and philanthropist, he has never fully addressed the whispers surrounding his past. He never had to. Until now.
Is into those things. That's in the indictment. You know, Cassie has not denied it, but they came out and said, you know, that Diddy used to like to watch Cassie. That's what he's into. Some men like to do that stuff. There's not a crime in that. But yes, Ray J, from what I was told, from being inside at the highest level, that Jay-Z likes to watch Beyonce with different men, such as Ray J.
Because the same forces that took down Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, and now Diddy are not going away. They're gaining momentum. And if Jay-Z's name continues surfacing in these conversations, it's only a matter of time before someone with real leverage, an accuser, a former associate, or even a prosecutor, decides to pull the first thread. There's another layer we can't ignore. Beyonce. One of the most powerful women in music. A global icon who built her career on strength, independence, and self-empowerment. If even a fraction of the allegations about her marriage are true, the implications are staggering. This isn't just a personal scandal. This is the potential collapse of an entire dynasty. The Carters are not just a couple. They are a brand, a business, a cultural institution. And if that foundation begins to crack, the fallout will be seismic, not just in music, but across entertainment, media, and global culture.
I would hope he would think about it and this would be in his mind, but I wouldn't actually know what another person is feeling.
And if that brand is built on a foundation of coercion and control, the fallout wouldn't just be personal, it would be seismic. Remember, Beyonce has alluded to turmoil in their relationship before. Lemonade wasn't just an album, it was a public reckoning with infidelity, betrayal, and power imbalances. But what if the truth is even darker than she let on? What if the Becky with the good hair scandal was only the surface? Now let's connect the dots. Diddy's conviction was the result of a years-long investigation, one that began with a single accuser and snowballed into a full-blown federal case. Jay-Z's situation could follow the same dangerous trajectory. The allegations from Jaguar Wright and Uncle Ron may sound extreme to some, but they aren't happening in isolation. They fit into a growing pattern, one where powerful men in hip-hop are finally facing accountability for behaviors that were once ignored, excused, or strategically buried. And when you zoom out, the picture becomes even harder to dismiss.
Walked away, got no money.
Got nothing.
Over.
And Jay-Z celebrated that, the fact that...
We should say, and it was filed by the lawyer who has filed a slew.
And now Jay-Z, with his history of alleged manipulation and his long-standing connections to some of the industry's most controversial figures, suddenly looks more exposed than ever. We also can't ignore the legal landscape. Diddy's team is already scrambling to reduce his sentence, arguing that the charges were excessive. But regardless of strategy, the outcome is undeniable. He's in prison. His reputation is shattered. His empire is collapsing. Meanwhile, Jay-Z has managed to evade significant legal consequences for decades. But that doesn't mean the danger isn't creeping closer. Civil lawsuits, criminal investigations, media scrutiny, public pressure. In today's climate, none of it is off the table. And if history has taught us anything, it's this. Where there's smoke, there's usually fire. So where does this leave us? with more questions than answers. If Jay-Z's past is as problematic as insiders suggest, why hasn't it come out sooner? Who has been protecting him? And what happens when that protection finally disappears? Most importantly, what's hiding in the corners of his history that he doesn't want the world to see? As the pieces start falling into place, the picture they form is anything but flattering. But reckonings don't happen in a single moment, they build slowly. Pressure accumulates bit by bit until it can't be contained anymore. Diddy's downfall was the first crack in the dam. Jay-Z's could be the flood. And that brings us to the most chilling question of all. If these dark rumors are true, who steps forward next? In the court of public opinion, it only takes one credible voice. One accuser. One leaked document. One former associate with nothing left to lose. The dominoes are lined up. The only question is, which one falls first? And these whispers about Jay-Z's betrayals aren't coming from random critics. They're coming from people who once sat inside his inner circle. Even Gene Deal, a name that carries weight in hip-hop's underground networks, has been vocal about how Jay-Z allegedly turned on allies whenever it benefited him.
You say greed? The money?
Yeah.
Or the power.
I mean, it
I
looks
don't
more
know.
like power.
It's this spell, right?
Right.
That Jay got. That's why I kind of look at Kanye and Dame and all of them. They the old me.
Right.
They the YouTube me.
Yeah.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? That this Dame look like the old YouTube me to me, because he hurt, bro.
This isn't just about personal grudges. It's about a pattern. Gene Deal's claims suggest that Jay-Z didn't simply outmaneuver rivals, he allegedly abandoned them when the stakes were highest, leaving former partners exposed while he consolidated power for himself. Sound familiar? It should. It mirrors the same playbook critics accused Diddy of using for decades, dropping associates the second they became liabilities. And with Diddy's empire now in freefall, the real question isn't whether Jay-Z used similar tactics. It's whether the people he left behind are finally ready to talk. What makes this even more damning is the contrast with Jay-Z's public persona. He's the artist who raps about loyalty. The mastermind who brands himself as a chess player forever thinking 3 moves ahead. The mogul who preaches strategy, discipline, and honor. But behind the scenes? The stories paint a very different picture. Take his fallout with Dame Dash, for example. Their partnership at Rockefeller was legendary, until it wasn't. Dash has repeatedly stated that Jay-Z's bitterness over Aaliyah wasn't just personal, it was a turning point that permanently fractured their relationship.
I seen Puffy independent. All the people that got hated on in the game, look where they ended up. So I can see my future. I can see what's going on here. This independency is gonna be big. I'm gonna have my own shit. But this ain't to just target him. I just a book about my life, a movie about my life. Why not?
Dash claims Jay-Z couldn't handle losing out to him, and that resentment grew into something far uglier. Then there's how Jay-Z allegedly handled the R. Kelly collaborations, pushing forward with not one but 2 major projects even after Kelly's predatory history with underage girls, including Aaliyah, was well known. Dame Dash didn't just criticize that choice. He flat out refused to profit from it, directing his portion to Aaliyah's foundation instead. That's not a business disagreement. That's a moral line drawn in permanent ink. And it raises a far more unsettling question. If Jay-Z was willing to overlook R. Kelly's alleged crimes for profit, what else has he been willing to ignore? Now let's talk about the alliances that once made Jay-Z untouchable. For years, he was shielded by a network of powerful friends, elite lawyers, and a PR machine capable of turning any scandal into a non-story. But that network? It's starting to crack.
I think I sent you that thing with Jazz. Jazz went in when they was going at it on Jay. But you look at the Jazz now, it's like he's on eggshells now. Like something happened. Like this can stop your career or whatever you're doing. This is what I try to tell dudes, yo, whatever God got for you, I don't give a damn billionaire, whoever, this, that, and the third. You can't stop it.
The same industry figures who once stayed silent are now beginning to speak up, emboldened by Diddy's downfall. And it's not just old rivals like Dame Dash. It's people who worked alongside Jay-Z, people who witnessed the inner workings of his empire firsthand. Jaguar Wright didn't simply call Jay-Z a monster, she positioned him as part of a system, one where young women were allegedly exploited, silenced, and controlled. Her claims aren't isolated. They're part of a growing narrative that draws Jay-Z into the same dark undercurrents that ultimately brought down Diddy. And if the Combs case taught us anything, it's this. Once the dominoes start falling, they rarely stop at just one name. The legal landscape is shifting rapidly. Diddy's conviction wasn't just about his personal actions. Prosecutors argued that Bad Boy Records operated as a criminal enterprise, one designed to facilitate exploitation under the guise of legitimate business. Now imagine that same logic applied to Roc Nation.
It's not just karma, that's just the forces of nature on how things work. You ruin people's lives, you do harmful things, and who's to say that he might ever pay that price? Who's to say he even done anything wrong to anybody else in his eyes? To me, that's not even the same person. That's someone else. It's not the Sean, the Jay I grew up with.
The lawsuits. The settlements. The whispers about questionable deals. What if these aren't isolated incidents? What if they point to a deeper, more systemic pattern? We already know Jay-Z has faced serious legal challenges, investors suing over Tidal's finances, artists claiming they were shortchanged, former partners alleging manipulation. But what if those disputes were just glimpses of something far bigger? Just like Diddy, could Jay-Z's business empire have been built on more than just talent and hustle? The RICO charges that nearly dismantled Diddy's empire were rooted in the idea that his businesses were vehicles for criminal activity. And now, that same question is quietly circulating in legal circles about Jay-Z's operations. Then there's the matter of the women. The allegations surrounding Jay-Z's past relationships with young women aren't new, but in the wake of Diddy's conviction, they've taken on a new urgency. Aaliyah's name keeps resurfacing. And it's not just because of her tragic end, it's because of the disturbing questions surrounding her relationships with powerful men in the industry. Men like R. Kelly. And allegedly, Jay-Z.
So, as we look at Jay-Z's life, he's a billionaire, married to Beyonce. Do you feel like he's truly reaped the karma of all his actions?
Where the karma is at?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Where is it? Nah, well.
Or do you feel like he ever will?
I feel like if you done people wrong, you know you done people wrong.
The timeline is unsettling. Jay-Z was in his late 20s. Aaliyah was still a teenager. Dame Dash claims Jay-Z was actively courting her, sending flowers, expressing his interest, making his intentions undeniable. And while nothing was ever proven, the optics alone are damning. Especially when you consider how Jay-Z allegedly reacted when Dame Dash won Aaliyah's affection instead. If the claims about his bitterness are true, what does that say about his attitude toward young women in his orbit? And if Aaliyah's story is just one piece of a larger pattern, how many others might be out there, waiting for the right moment to speak? The connections don't stop there. Foxy Brown's name has resurfaced, thanks in part to Wendy Williams' bombshell revelation about their alleged past relationship. Williams didn't merely hint at a romance, she framed it as something that happened long before Beyonce, at a time when Jay-Z was solidifying his power in the industry. Why does that matter? Because it fits into a narrative that's starting to take shape, a pattern of alleged relationships with young, up-and-coming women who were vulnerable to manipulation. And if we're talking about vulnerability, we cannot ignore the allegations about Beyonce. Claims that Jay-Z kept her under control, allegedly using substances to maintain dominance, aren't just tabloid gossip. They're part of a wider conversation about power dynamics in their marriage. Remember, Beyonce was just 18 when their relationship began. 18. While Jay-Z was already a seasoned industry veteran, someone known for playing the long game.
Father was, and for the case not to go how I was planning it, I really thought it was going to go different than.
If even a fraction of these allegations are true, the implications are staggering. But here's where things get even more complicated. The entertainment industry is built on secrets, on NDAs, hush money, and carefully crafted public narratives. Jay-Z has always been a master at controlling his story, curating every detail of his image. But control only lasts as long as the people around you stay quiet. And right now, the silence is breaking.
What's the first sucker move that he pulled, in your opinion?
Wow, I got a string of them, but look at me in my face, right? During my trial, look at me in my face telling me, yo, don't worry about it, bro. I got you. And I never see him again.
The same forces that took down Diddy, lawsuits, investigations, survivors finding their voices, are now turning their attention to other powerful men in the industry. And Jay-Z's name is at the top of that list. Not just because of his past, but because of his present. The way he's allegedly handled these rumors. The way his team has reportedly worked to suppress certain stories. The way he continues to remain silent while others speak up. It all paints a picture of a man who may have something to hide. Let's not forget the cultural shift we're living through. The public is no longer satisfied with excuses. They want accountability. And the legal system is finally starting to listen. Diddy's conviction wasn't just one man's downfall. It was a message. A warning. No amount of fame, power, or fortune can protect you forever.
Man, this timeline is crazy, man.
I know. So many things coming at one time.
Jay-Z knows what's happening. He's too intelligent, too calculated, too seasoned in this industry not to sense the shift. But knowing and preparing are two very different things. And right now, it doesn't look like he's prepared at all. The lawsuits are piling up. The whispers are turning into conversations. And the people who once stood firmly in his corner, they're quietly stepping back. This is how downfalls always begin. One by one, the alliances crumble. One by one, the secrets begin to surface. One by one, the powerful start to fall. Now, let's talk about the unseen forces at play. Diddy's collapse wasn't just the result of his own actions. It was a perfect storm, a cultural reckoning, a legal system emboldened to hold powerful men accountable, and a media landscape that has grown hungrier than ever for the truth. Jay-Z is staring down that same storm. And if history is anything to go by, the outcome isn't going to be pretty.
The thing that happened is Tupac's family is reportedly deciding to investigate the rumors that Diddy was involved in Tupac's.
The legal strategies that once kept Jay-Z protected, settlements, non-disclosure agreements, the constant threat of lawsuits, aren't as effective anymore. The public isn't buying silence. They're demanding answers. And if Jay-Z doesn't have good ones, the consequences could be catastrophic. Because reckonings don't happen in a single moment. They build slowly, one revelation at a time, until the pressure becomes impossible to contain. Diddy's downfall was the first crack in the dam. Jay-Z's could be the flood. And if that flood comes, it won't just be his reputation at stake. It will be his empire. His legacy. His family. Because when the dominoes start falling, they don't stop at one name, they take everything down with them. So where does that leave us? With more questions than answers. If Jay-Z's past is as problematic as insiders claim, why hasn't it surfaced sooner? Who's been protecting him? And what happens when that protection disappears? Most importantly, what's hiding in the corners of his history that he doesn't want the world to see? The pieces are falling into place, and the picture they're forming is anything but flattering. But reckonings don't strike all at once. They build and build until the dam finally breaks. Diddy's collapse was the first break. Jay-Z's could be the flood. And that brings us to the most chilling question of all. If these rumors are true, who's next to step forward? Because in the court of public opinion, it only takes one credible voice to change everything. One accuser. One leaked document. One former associate with nothing left to lose. The dominoes are lined up. The only question now is, which one falls first? So tell us. Do you think Jay-Z's empire is on the verge of collapse? Or is this just another storm he'll weather like he always has? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like if you're ready for the truth. And don't forget to subscribe, because when the next bombshell drops, you'll want to be the first to hear it. Stay fierce. Stay curious. And remember, in a world built on power and secrets, the truth always finds a way out. Until next time.